I am Dr. Omar Adnan. I will teach physics for 5th grade in Baghdad College schools and other schools that using English language in teaching. I will teach and explain the multiplication of vectors subject in chapter 1. I will share the books now. Multiplications of vectors. If we have two vectors, such as A vectors and B vectors. And previously in this section or chapter, we know what is the vector quantity and scalar quantity. Again, if we have a vector A and vector B, and if we need to multiply a vector A by vector B, we will use two ways for this multiplication. The first way is called scalar product or dot product, and the other way is called vector product or cross product. The first way, the reason that we called scalar product because vector A dot vector B, the resultant of this multiplication of the vectors will be get a scalar quantity. Scalar will be get a scalar quantity like as work, mass, energy. And the other reason to call dot product because there is a dot sign between A vector and B vector. Vector product or cross product, the main reason that called vector product or cross product because when multiplication of vector A cross vector B will be get a vector quantity. And we call a cross product because there is a cross sign between vector A and vector B. The law of these products, or the law between this two way of products, or in scalar product, the law will be A dot B equal to A and B vectors and cosine theta and n vector product or cross product will be A cross B vectors equal A and B and use sine theta I need to focus on this point. Here in scalar product we use cosine theta, and in vector product we use the sine theta. This is the main difference between scalar product and vector product. Now I will explain what mean of theta. What's mean of theta? If we plot between vector A and vector B, this x-axis and this y-axis. If we suppose here vector A and here vector B, theta is mean the angle that make between vector A and vector B. This theta, I need to focus on this point. Theta is the angle between A vector and B vector, not angle between A vector and x-axis, not angle between B vector and x-axis or y-axis. Focus on this point. Theta is the angle between A vector and B vectors. And now we need to solve some examples of this subject. In chapter 1, there is example 5 and example 6, and example 5 and example 6. Here, examples 5, a force that has a magnitude of 40 Newton, in the direction of 37 degree, above the horizon affected object, Now, this point or this sentence mean that the vector f that have 40 in Newton make an angle theta equal to 37 between f vector and horizontal x-axis. Focus on this. Between f and x-axis. Affected an object, so it moves that object displacement of 10 horizontally. This means that the second vector is a displacement ensembled by x, is corresponding on the x-axis. If we now plot this vector f, and this is vector x or displacement, this force and this displacement. The theta in this equation will be 37 degree between force and x-axis. That means we use this angle in law. The second point, calculate the magnitude of the work that the force do. Now, I need to focus on this. Calculate the magnitude of the work. What we know the work is a scalar quantity. We mean will be use the law of the first way of multiplication vectors is dot product or scalar product. Okay. Now someone will be asked how I know what way to use in multiplication of vectors. The answers of these questions is from this word. We need to get or found work, and we know the work is a scalar quantity. And we say when the resultants of multiplications of vector when be a scalar quantity, must we use a scalar dot product. And if the resultant of multiplications of vector a vector quantity, we must vector multiplication or cross multiplications of vectors. Now the resultant is work, and we know the work is a scalar quantity. That's mean the resultants of multiplication vector f by vector x, we get a scalar quantity or work quantity, we must use the law of a scalar or dot quantity. F dot x vectors equals to f and x, and use cosine theta. F vector dot x vector, F is equal to 40 Newton cross 40 Newton by the x is equal to 10 meters, 40 by 10 by cosine 37 degree. F dot x equal 14 by 10 equal to 400 by cosine 37 is equal to or 0.8 or 0.8. Now 400 by 0.8 is equal to 320 joules. Now to the next example, example 6 in box. We need to read the example. A force that has a magnitude 150 Newton affected the lever AB. This lever AB, this lever this lever from here to here, lever AB in the point A, and this point A in the point A, which is far from spindle B by 5 meters. By 5 meters, which means we have two vectors. The first vector is F, that equal to 150 Newton, and the second vector is X, that equal to 5 meters. Find the magnitude and the direction of this resultant vector. We need to focus on this word and sentence. This word and this sentence. Find the magnitude and the direction. He say direction. If he say the direction, that's mean the resultant of multiplication vector F by vector X must be vector quantity. Because he need to the direction. We know that the vector quantity have magnitude and direction. That is the main reason to use the law of vector quantity or a cross quantity product or a cross product, because he say, or let's say, we need to get the direction and magnitude. While the previous example, he did not say need to the direction. He also say calculate the magnitude. In this example, he say the magnitude and direction. When he say find the magnitude and the direction, must be used the second way of multiplication of vectors. It's vector product. Now that means vector F cross vector X equal 2f cross x sine theta. Sine theta, we know that must use sine theta with a cross of product and cosine theta with dot of product. All right. Okay. F cross x vectors equal to f equal to 150 by x is equal 10 meters or 5 meters by sine the angle between vector f and vector s is here from the plot and equal to the angle equal to 30 degree. Now 150 f vector cross x vector equal to 150 by 5 is equal to 750. 750. Okay? Cross sine 30 degree equal to 0.5. It's mean that cross half is equal to 375 meters. Now we go to solve some problem on this subject from chapters problems. B2, what is B2? Problem of chapters. B2, what is the dot product? What is the dot product of vector A and vector B as shown in figure below. As shown in figure below. It means in this figure. He need to get dot product. Dot product. That's mean we need to use the law of dot product of multiplication of vector A by vector B. Therefore, vector A dot vector B equal to A cross B, and we use cosine theta. We need to get the angle between vector A and vector B from the below figure. We explained previously that the angle theta must be between A and B, between A vector and B vector. Here in the figure, we have two angles. The first angle is 53 degree. That's between A vector and x-axis. And the second angle in figure is 113, that between B vector and x-axis. We need to find the angle between vector B and vector A, and that's we get from minus the two angles. It means theta is equal 113 degree minus 53 degree. That's equal to 60 degree. This must we use this theta in the law. Therefore, A dot B vectors equal to A is 4 unit, cross B is 5 unit, cross cosine 60 degree. A dot B vectors equal to 4 by 5 is equal to 20. Cross cosine 60 degree is equal to 0.5. It means 20 cross or 20 cross or by half. The half of 20 equal to 10. Therefore, A vector dot B vector equal to 10 units. And the other problem on this subject is P3. P3, if the magnitude of vector A is equal to 6 unit. This means vector A equal to 6 in the direction of the positive x-axis. This means that A vector is corresponding on x-axis. This corresponding on x-axis. Vector A corresponding on x-axis, and the magnitude of vector B equal to 4 units. Vector B equal to 4 in the direction that make angles equal to 30 degree. This mean that the angles is between B vectors and A vectors with the x-axis and located on the xy plane. In the xy plane, calculate the magnitude of the cross product vector that is very easy. He needed from us to get the cross product of A vector and B vector. We must use the law of cross product. That means vector A cross vector B equal to A cross B, and use sine theta. Use sine theta. Vector A is equal to 6 and vector B is equal to 4 cross sine 13 cross sine 30 as shown in the figure. Theta is between B vectors and A vectors, and sine 30 6 cross 4 is equal to 24 cross and sine 30 is equal to half or 0.5. That means what's the resultant of multiplication of 24 by the half. It means is equal to 12 units. Thanks for listening.